I've been writing probably since I was a kid. I think when I was in grade five, we had the assignment to write a book, a little book, and I did. I wrote about my dog Tippy, and it was the most uh, taken out book in our little library. So I kind of got the bug then.
And you also went on to get a master's in English.
I went to university as an adult student. I got a degree in psychology, and then I went on to study um, English literature and creative writing. And I was fortunate enough to study under Alistair MacLeod and Eugene McNamara. And our writers in residence were W.O. Mitchell and several other people. So I was very, very fortunate.
Wow. So you have written several books. Tell me, what were the inspirations for your book?
It's set in Cumberland, here in the valley, because I really like Cumberland. It's kind of quirky, and it's one of the places I would always go to when we first moved here. Um, and my husband thinks it's about him, but it's not. Although he was the inspiration initially, because I was really mad at him one day, and I started writing, and I wrote about this nasty character, and I bumped him off by the end of the story. So it started off as a short story, and it was very cathartic, and I wasn't mad at him anymore. And then, after editing and writing and rewriting and putting it through my fiction writing group and several other readers, the story, of course, evolved, and it was no longer about Peter. It was about this terrible, awful artist who didn't deserve didn't deserve to be in the book, but he is.
Now, you recently had a piece of work performed at the Woodstove Festival. Was that based on your own experience as a mother, or?
Absolutely. That actually happened one day. Although I was your old son, did run into the back door yelling, "I dreamed my horse could fly," and I thought, he's just discovered his imagination, and what a beautiful thing, what a wonderful thing to notice and realize, and so yes, it was, based on my life. Just about everything a writer writes has some connection to his or her life, and it doesn't mean that it's um, a true story or a true reflection of the exact events, but the emotion behind it. And that's the thing with literature, it's the emotion behind it. If you can't get in touch with those emotions, how can you expect your reader to get in touch with emotions?
So, do you draw on your emotions when you're creating art as well?
Yes, in fact, our writing and doing my art goes hand in hand. When I'm really writing, I feel, very much like making some kind of art, and I usually go to collage because it tells a story. Like, there's a story behind. There's probably a story behind every work of art, but in collage, as a if I'm looking at a piece of collage, I am piecing it together. Why did the artist choose this, and why did the artist choose that bit? And so you're putting it together as much as the artist. And actually, on the cover of my book is one of my collages, and it actually appears in the story. A minor character is doing collage, and she's not particularly good at first, but she gets a little better. And so I used her collage, which was my collage, on the cover of my book.
And you've also got a series of children's books. Tell me about those.
Well, the children's books were very much inspired by Kate Brown, who just started talking about the birds on the estuary, and we met very early on when we first came to the island, and so she said, "Well, you write. I could illustrate. Why don't we do some books on the birds?" So I started doing all this research on the behavior of the birds on the estuary, and I thought, oh, gee, I write fiction. I don't want to write a science manual or an encyclopedia entry. So we started giving the birds personalities, and we ended up with 6 children's books as a result.
And you've also written some adult books too.
Look, Kate and I took a trip to Europe. We left our Pete's behind. We left them behind, and we went to Europe, and we went to France and to Scotland and to England. And so we wrote about the mostly true tell-all travelogues with pictures, but they're for adults, not